All right. X-Files season 7 episode 10 and 11, the ones I was dreading doing.
I thought that's what
Oh
these were. I
boy.
should have said something because then you would have been
This
like, oh,
yeah, these episodes really pissed me off. This
yes.
this is why we're
These,
so checked out of the main storyline, because the Mulder Samantha sister thing, like the abduction and all that, this is such a terrible payoff to everything we've been waiting for. I mean, the literal last episode of this is called Closure. This is supposed to be like the end of Samantha's storyline. What an absolute, like, just it's so underwhelming.
yes.
And it's like, I'm so checked out. We've done so many different things with Samantha, and I feel like they're all retconned.
I
I
do
feel
too.
like, he finds clones of her in a field, and they're just like drones. And then there's, the smoking man brings him to her. Then there's the other clones of the doctors who pretend to be his sister. And as I said, smoking man brings them to her. Then he has like that fantasy world where his sister's there and whatever. There's so many moments where you think like, oh, he's found his sister, he got her, right? Like, he gets the call in the episode with the doctors who are pretending to be his sister, and they like meet the parents. And you think like, oh my god, he's gonna finally have a relationship with his sister, he
Yep.
found her, whatever. And then there, I think even in another one of those fantasy episodes, his sister comes back. But regardless of everything, they do all of these things to set up this, to then have the smoking man suggest in this that he just thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? What happened to that girl you brought to the diner? Because that girl is the best actress of all time, if she isn't actually his sister and was just coaxed into telling him that that was her to get Mulder to play along with it. And she's like, I can't see you again right now. It's all too much for me. I got to get out of here. That's all for nothing. That girl really isn't his sister, and we're not even going to address that.
I know. It feels like they were going to, like, they had one idea for, like, his sister story, and then they just keep changing their mind.
And then they finally were just like,
We'll just
we're
kill her.
we're done.
We don't want to talk about her anymore.
We're done with her.
Yeah.
And it's like, why
It's so
why
lame.
string us along
For
for 7
that's like
seasons?
the
Because it's
same
the
thing.
driving point of the show. It's
It
literally
is.
Mulder's entire reason for why he does what he does, is to find Samantha. That is the driving force of the whole show. It's literally his entire character is meant to find Samantha.
Yes. It's super lame, and I also think that, like, it's the same thing with Mulder and Scully's relationship. Like, I just feel like they don't really care about them. Like, not only do they not care about that relationship, but they don't care about, like, Mulder and his sister.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think.
as far as the writers go, I mean. It just feels like they've abandoned it.
I feel like they've just abandoned. Like, I feel like this is maybe a send off to, like, you know what, we're just going monster of the week. Like, we don't really know what to do with this show anymore. We've went through so many different
Yeah.
plot lines now that we never fully closed out. We don't know how to wrap this up. So this feels like a total retcon fuck you. That's the way it felt in the end for me. And weirdly enough, these have a 7.9 and an 8.1 on
Wow.
IMDb. So these are actually fairly
It's
highly
high.
rated. Not
Yeah.
like super high or
Higher than
anything.
I
They're not
would
like
think.
nines or something where it's
Yeah.
like people loved it, but they seem to be totally fine with this. I think people just kind of accept, like, whatever. Like,
Mm.
they just say whatever, and I'm just going to roll with it. But
Mhm.
for me, I think when you're watching a back to back like this and you're looking for that continuity, you're looking for that payoff, that closure, as they suggest in the title, it's so lackluster. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah. I trust me, I agree.
So the way that this all starts is that there's this like kind of routine kidnapping that happens, and Mulder and Scully, Mulder requests to be put on the case, and then Scully's like, I don't understand, like, how is this X file,
Yeah.
And then she starts pushing back on all of it because she realizes Mulder's more emotionally invested in this than he should be, because she thinks his judgment is clouded
Mhm.
by the fact that his sister seems to be linked to this.
Mhm.
And so they ultimately are led to this killer
Yeah.
who is working at like Santa's village,
Mhm.
which I want to say this is the Santa's village over by my place when I
Oh
was
yeah, you
a
recognized
teenager,
this.
because I lived in Lake Arrowhead and I used to drive over to Big Bear, and there's a Santa's village over in that area, and I want to say this is that same one, because I do think they're in California in this episode.
Mm.
So I do think I've actually been to this location. But yeah, anyway, the opening shot of this movie definitely reminded me of Jamie Lloyd praying in her bed at the beginning of Halloween 4. We get Boggs from the Shawshank Redemption. Um, and there's agents who have a pool going in this on whether or not the kid is dead or alive. That is grim.
That's super messed up.
I
Yeah.
would never bet on
No
that.
way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know you're like
It's
supposed to
very
be
desensitized feeling, but like
it
even more.
it is, but it almost just feels like it's too detached,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to not get too emotionally invested, but you also need to have a heart and you have to care to some degree. You're just kind of like having a Deadpool on a child
Mhm.
that you're talking about, like looking for. It just seems like you've dehumanized them into
Yeah.
like a sport.
Oh yeah, I think it's really gross. And yeah, I don't like that at all. I can't imagine anybody really do, especially with a kid. Like
Yeah,
especially kids.
anybody.
Anybody, but like, I mean, come on.
In this episode, the dad, who I think is, yeah, played by Boggs from Shawshank, he's sitting downstairs and he's watching a show called Harsh Realm,
Hmm.
and in it he keeps mentioning, like, he says out loud like, oh, this show's really good, like this and that. This is a show that was created by Chris Carter and was canceled early,
Oh,
so I think this is his, like, wink and nod
yeah.
to people who canceled his other show,
Like,
to
hey,
be like, hey, I
I
have
have
a really popular
X-Files.
show now,
Yeah.
maybe you should have went through with me. So I thought that was cute that he was referencing his own show within
Yeah.
here. It's a little egotistical, it's a little on the nose, but I like it. um we also have Deborah Strode in here
Mm.
as well. And she also plays the mom in Better Off Dead. French fries,
French fries.
French dressing. I love that movie so much, and she's so great. But yeah, it's she's such a different character in Halloween 6 than she is in Better Off Dead. But it was, it's always cool to see her. We yeah, Mrs. Mulder dies.
Yep, that's huge. So
So
that's another big thing that just kind of happens.
more
They're like, we're just gonna
closure.
kill out all of Mulder's family.
Yeah. Um Scully is able to find him. She's
Hmm.
actually the one that puts the pieces together, not Mulder, because Mulder's like super distracted by the fact that his mom is dead.
Yeah, Scully like is looking at the map and is like Santa's village. Like, wait a minute, and like notices the
The number,
it's the like highway or
it's the
something
highway
that she
number,
notices.
because
Yeah,
there's some number that's a clue,
right.
and then she realizes that it's a
That
freeway
that's what that is.
number,
Yeah.
and then she pushes like her finger up the map and sees that it's Santa's village and whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Now, one thing that I'm always just fascinated with, and I find it to be a movie thing, I can't imagine this is real. So, in movies, when people bury bodies, they always put the dirt back on, but they put all the dirt back on to where there's mounds,
Yes.
where they're clearly
Yeah.
graves. Like, why would you, why wouldn't you just flatten it?
Yeah.
Why are you making mounds?
I
I've
think it's
never understood
because
this. It's like they're trying to put all the dirt back in, but because there's a body, it's plumped up now, but you don't have
there's
to put all
that.
the dirt back
There's
on.
that too, and then also that like I think when you dig up like dirt, like it like air, like
Yeah,
it gets
I
fluffier.
get all of that, but the reason they do it in movies, obviously, is to visually represent
Yes.
a grave. If they flattened everything out, it wouldn't look as much like a grave. But they always find the graves. Like that's the way the cops find the graves in movies, because they're obviously graves. They've got mounds on top of them. If you're ever going to bury a body and you don't want people to find it, you flatten it out, and then you spread the dirt evenly around the area
Yeah.
and make everything flat. The fact that there's mounds always makes me laugh. There's like 4 perfectly grave-sized mounds, one after the other. It's like, I wonder what's in here.
Yes. Yeah, it is very
No one
funny.
continues to keep putting dirt on top of the grave once it's flat with or flush with the ground.
It's true.
It's just so silly to me that they always do this in movies. Like when you go to fucking cemeteries, there's not mounds, they're flat,
Mm-hmm.
like any grave would be.
Yeah, I don't know
Just,
why they do it. I have no
it's
answer.
as I said, I know why they do it, for like a visual
Yes.
representation, right? It's like visual storytelling. But it's just fucking funny to me because it's always how they find them, and it's like, why are the killers making these mounds? So it's like a problem that they create in the film because they need some visual cue that it's a grave, but it also is what gives the killer away. So it's almost like a cheat by the writers.
Mm-hmm.
But the writers aren't the filmmakers, right? The writer is writing a script, and then it's the director and the director of photography and cinematographer that are supposed to work on the visual stuff, but they also write into the film without seeing it. The cops see the mounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a weird cheat
Yeah.
that's not necessary, that the writers almost are cheating.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I was writing it, they'd be flat, and then I'd have to come up with a different way that
Mm-hmm.
they found the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't work when you take it from the writing standpoint, because you don't need to write that into the script visually. But I guess the writers who are on this show are being asked to write it in a way that would visually work, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point, but I like when the psychic shows up. Scully's just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
He's like, bye.
And yeah, she's just not hearing it, which is kind of how, like, I don't know. That seems a little contradictory to me,
Mm.
because in the past we had the episode, and he actually pops up in 2 episodes, but there's one he's in the actual episode, and then there's one where he's on the television. But there's that like charlatan that comes and is like the psychic on the murder case that walks
Yes.
in, and then
Yeah.
he's like, I smell a skeptic, and you think
Yes.
it's gonna be Scully, and it's Mulder, and Mulder's like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
But this time it's like Scully's like, she's full of shit, and Mulder's like, mm.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, that feels a little contradictory to me.
I don't know. He just I think it's because the other one is
It's not
like,
believable. He's hammy.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Whereas this one is more,
But why is
and this
Scully
one,
okay
this
with the
psychic
hammy
actually
one?
is a psychic
Yeah.
to a degree.
But why is Scully okay with the hammy one? Is she just kind of like, this is
No,
entertaining?
yeah, she's just like, this is funny because it's so obvious
Yeah.
that he's like a fraud.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas this one, he's actually like, I've worked on cases and I'm like trying to do this or whatever.
What's his
Yeah.
name again? Do you remember?
I don't.
It's a silly name.
It is a
It's
silly
like a
name.
super silly name.
I don't remember it. I'm sorry. It's been so many
I don't remember it
seasons.
either. So
Yeah. Too long.
I can find it pretty quickly actually. But let's see what else. Bleeps. Oh no, that's sorry. I was jumping ahead there. Yes, Samantha's probably dead. Just wanted to give Mulder hope.
Yeah.
Like what? What nonsense is this? Give
It's
him hope
of
by
all the
bringing a woman
things.
to him and saying this is your sister?
That's not hope.
That's not hope. That's
That's
just
a
lying.
lie.
Yeah.
That's just lying to somebody. Yeah, the smoking man is all over the place with like, he just always pretends like he cares for Mulder, and he does it as like a manipulation tactic to both of them, where he's like, no, like I actually do want to help you, like you got to trust me this one time, even though every other time I've like led you astray or used you or done whatever. Like he's just so manipulative, and you can never believe anything that he says when it comes to like Mulder's history, I feel.
I honestly don't feel like this is true to his character, though. That's a
Mm.
problem I have with it. I don't think the smoking man, written the way that he is, the way that he cares about Mulder, the way that yes, he's lied to him before, but I don't buy this one. I actually think that this is kind of um disingenuous to his
Mm.
character and almost insulting.
Oh, okay.
I don't buy that the smoking man would ultimately know his sister's probably dead and he's just gonna like bring him this fake girl and get his hopes up to then just randomly one day be like, she's probably dead.
Yeah.
I just that doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like it's almost insulting to his character.
I mean, yeah, I think that this whole episode arc is like insulting to the whole like Samantha storyline in general. So
Agreed.
yeah, I think you're probably right with that. I
You think we're
guess
actually done with it?
no, I feel like it's gonna come back somehow. She's gonna still be alive, which is crazy, and I'm gonna maybe we'll just skip those episodes.
You think that we're gonna see that girl again that posed as his sister?
Maybe I don't know. I feel like they're holding that
Or
in their
maybe
back
that
pocket.
really is her. That would be so annoying.
That would be so annoying. And the Smoky Man's like, I just lied because I didn't want him to know.
He'd be like, got you again.
Always getting ya.
Endless
Yeah,
getting.
yeah.
His name is the Stupendous Yappy.
Oh yeah, Yappy. That's what it
Yappy.
was.
Yeah, he's yapping
Stupendous
it up.
Yappy. That's so funny.
Yeah. Mulder finds Samantha's diary.
Yes.
So he's got that. So he's gonna probably immerse himself in that for a while. His mom's ghost visits him in a dream.
Yes. He gets a ghost visitation. That's not unusual for the X Files. They've definitely had times where family members visit in dreams, obviously with Scully and Mulder and Scully to each other and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's it. I just I hate this. I
Yeah.
hate the way that this wrapped up. I thought that the whole like subplot of the murderer
Yeah.
who was killing the girls and the kids at Santa's freaking
Like, oh
village.
yeah, Santa's Village.
I thought that was all for nothing.
Super
Like it
lame.
ended up being all for nothing to me.
Yes.
Like it was a complete diversion. That felt like
That's
that's
why
like
it seems like they probably will bring it back because it's like to have her be killed by just I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
yeah. I mean, if they're saying that this guy's who killed
Right.
Samantha, no way, dude. No way.
Yeah.
With all the shit, because we also have that other episode with the serial killer
That's like
played by Tom Noonan, who like
there's
says
all kinds of serial killers that are like I killed the sister.
it's endless.
And
They're
then there's
just they
also the
can't
alien
make up their
abduction
mind.
and there's yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't
It's
like it.
it's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. So hopefully we're only gonna deal with like Monster of the Week episodes for a while. I know when we get to the revival and even the end of like season 9 with the end of the show,
Yeah.
they definitely are gonna be doing some like main storyline stuff to like wrap it up.
I'm sure. I
um
mean, we'll have to come back to it at some point.
oh
So,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
but man, I hope it's better than this, but I don't think there's a way to make it work now. I think that they've shot themselves in the foot 7 ways and don't know exactly what to do with it unless they start some totally new thing. If they just like say, okay, we're done with all of that stuff and now we're going to start a new conspiracy and they can make that interesting, I'm on board for that. But this, all of what we've dealt with in the past with the smoking man and Samantha and his mom and all this, I'm done with it. I'm so done with it. I don't care about any of it anymore. We've talked about that to death. I hope we don't have to talk about it again.
Yeah, I do too.
So that's it. From here, we have fun episodes. X Cops next, first person shooters after that, and then I think we only have like, oh yeah, Thief,
Oh, yes.
And then yeah, so we got fun episodes coming up, and I'm looking forward to talking about those. But I was really dreading this because I really don't like shitting on this show. I just want to have a fun time sitting back, having a good time with the kids, not taking it too seriously,
Yeah,
just yucking it up when the time comes. And I just found this I found this conclusion to be pretty insulting.
I agree. It was awful.
Anyway, all right, let us know what you think if you're even watching, and we'll see you in the comments. Bye.
Bye.